right here, Sactown Sports. But getting into this Brendan Nunez article that is on the great website that is sactownsports.com, where you can just find a ton of content from Northern California sports, all things Kings, of course, Niners as well, some A's, some Giants stuff on there as well. Brendan Nunez broke down one area of improvement for each Kings player, and he started with the guards, and so will we. I'll just ask you these positions or these players, and then we can get into later what Brendan had to say. But Alan, first off, let's start with the head of the snake, De'Aaron Fox. What's the one thing you want to see De'Aaron really work on this season, throughout this year? What's the area of improvement that you want to see De'Aaron Fox most improve in?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think we're probably going to be on the same page here, and I don't have up what Brendan said because I kind of wanted to have some fun with it. But yeah, I don't know if he went as detailed as free throw shooting, but I would say free throw shooting and 3-point shooting as well. Those are the two things that I would have for De'Aaron.
You just from an efficiency standpoint? You mean like shooting that at a higher percentage?
Exactly.
Okay. And I only clarify that because Brendan has shot selection. So not necessarily knocking down shots at a higher rate, but just necessarily picking better shot selection. So Brendan mentioned
not chuck up threes. That's that's Brendan being nice, saying don't chuck up as many threes.
Very, very much so. As Brendan writes in here, in a crucial aspect of his long-term development, forcing defenders to respect his range. There were stellar games where he 7 of 17, 8 of 16, 7 of 13 from 3, but it's the moments where he converted just 2 of 12 or 5 of 15 that have you so concerned about De'Aaron's shot selection on occasion. So that, I would say, is where I would fall too. I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, if he can be an 80% free throw shooter, I really can't even fathom how much better that makes this team if he is a 37, 38% three-point shooter. Both things you said, incredibly important to De'Aaron, and I think you could probably prioritize all of those as 1A, 1B, and 1C. But yeah, just general shot selection for me is kind of where I fall, is just taking less threes. Like you said, I'll just be more aggressive than Brendan was. Taking less threes, De'Aaron, please. Nobody wants to see you take 14 to 16 threes a game. You're not that guy. And funny enough, you mentioned earlier the Brandon Pajemski piece of they wanting him to take 8 to 10 threes. So I looked up how many players really took 8 to 10 threes last year. Okay. And De'Aaron wasn't one of them, but I was very, very surprised to see De'Aaron Fox in the top 20 for 3-point attempts per game. It was just really jarring I don't think anybody thinks De'Aaron Fox is a 3-point shooter. He took the 19th most 3-point attempts per game. He was in the same category. Tyrese took less per game than him. Trey Murphy took less per game. Tyler Hero is right above him. Paul George and Lauri Markkanen are the spots that are right above him. De'Aaron Fox should not be in that category. He cannot be taking, it was, let's see here. He was at 7.8 threes per game last year, knocked it down at just under 37%, which is great. It is absolutely fantastic, but I just don't need to see him taking that many threes. So that
how do you become that guy, Chris?
I mean, you just I think you got to slow feed it. You got to spoon feed it, man. Like, get 38% on 5 attempts, on 6 attempts, and then you kind of slowly ramp that thing up. That's where I'm more at. I just, again, think that this team, maybe less so this season, but with how the team has been constructed, there's so much shooting on the roster. I just don't know if it's ever the best possession to end with De'Aaron Fox taking the 3. It's not that it's necessarily a bad possession or I don't think he's going to make it, but more times than not, if De'Aaron's flinging up a 3, I'd probably rather have Keegan just taking. I think a bad Keegan 3 is as good as a good, not wide open, but a good, slightly contested De'Aaron 3. Malik, I think, is a better, tough 3-point maker. Of course, Kevin Huerter. I just think there's more options on the team that I would like to see get those shots up and take crazy high volume than De'Aaron Fox, who already is ridiculous around the rim. So that's just kind of where I fall on that one specifically.
Yeah, well, I think that when I close my eyes right now, Chris, I don't even really recall De'Aaron taking tough threes. I think it's just the kind of the motion of the ocean, and you got to figure out something. And De'Aaron is open, maybe not wide open, but open. And he says, well, you're going to respect this jump shot. And then it gets clanked.
Yeah, and I think it's a, like you said, it is a balancing act to an extent of him trying to figure out, okay, yeah, like you said, respect my 3, but it's also, you got to kind of think, why are they leaving me so open? Why are they so okay? And again, I just think De'Aaron is elite at getting to the rim, and I would much rather, again, just have him take a contested shot around the rim where he's traditionally shot, near 60% from around the rim, or it might even be as high as 70% in his peak. But he has been insane around the rim. I would just, again, much rather opt for him taking a shot around the rim, whether it be contested or not, over a pretty open three. I just think that that's where his game is best suited, and I understand that maybe for longevity, you do have to think, well, on my body, it's really nice to take threes over banging down in the post and falling on my knee every 3 or 4 plays. So I get it. Moving on, as we will in the next segment here with the rest of the guards, we talk about Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, and Devin Carter as well, Colby Jones, Jordan McLaughlin. Where do we want to see the? All right, let's get into it. There's a couple more. We only got through one guard, so I'm gonna not waste time here and just get right into Malik Monk. When it comes to Malik Monk, he obviously had a career year last year. Definitely stamped his standing in the league, I guess. He made sure that he's going to be around for a long time. Got that 3-year deal after kind of being on a series of 1- and 2-year deals throughout his career. Allen Stiles, I mean, he already took a massive leap. Is there anywhere else for Malik to improve in your eyes?
This is a tough one because it really depends on what his role is starting to look like on this new team. I mean, we could say, hey, if he's going to be the backup, maybe as far as the backup point guard, if he's going to be the pseudo backup point guard, just, obviously ball handling can always improve, and decision making, things like that. I do feel like there were a couple times where he was a little bit turnover prone, but yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. And real quick, Chris, I just thought about, I can't wait to see, do we have slow-mo anywhere of Malik when he makes a three, when he does the finger thing and he turns down? Do we know what he's actually doing? Because I can't wait to see that.
I kind of think it's like the Bulls, it's like the okay, but it's okay down.
I can't wait to see that.
I believe is what it is.
That's what I got on Malik Monk.
Yeah, no, I think that's I think that's a really good one. I would probably say, I mean, you're spot on with his role. Determining his role is obviously going to be huge. Like if he is going to be the de facto point guard, like you said, he was great in spreading the ball out and pick and roll and finding the corner, but maybe just in general, more playmaking, more instinctual playmaking. I'd like to see some of that. Maybe, I guess, defense. I'll just throw that out there. I mean, nobody ever talks about Malik's defense. I'm not saying he's got to be a great on-ball defender. I'm not saying he's got to replace Davion Mitchell or anything, but if he could just be a disruptor, if he can essentially be an Allen Iverson defensively where he's getting a bunch of steals, but he's just taking a bunch of risks, like I do think, the Kings could use just a big disruptor, and there's no better athlete on this team than Malik Monk, I would say, and we've seen him get some crazy blocks on people around the rim and stuff like that. So I guess I would just say defense. Let's see what Brendan said. Brendan said kind of what you did. He said fewer turnovers and consistency. So I think Brendan's definitely thinking more in the light of him being more involved in the Kings as a playmaker. Moving on to one Neon Keon Ellis Island, who again, I really hope we can talk with Keon on Media Day. I think he would be a great interview and would really be intrigued to hear how he thought last season went, if he kind of thought it was a blur, if he remembered, every moment of it. Of course, that Golden State play-in game was absolutely incredible. Where's the spot that you want to see Keon improve at?
Yeah, I would say with Keon, some version of playmaking, but I would also say, and again, I don't know if they want him doing this, but I feel like for Keon, you don't see him shoot off the dribble that much. I feel like it was, and this might be just his role, but you're going to pass it around, and other teams are looking, thinking, well, we have to let Keon shoot this, so he's going to be wide open. But I think that, more playmaking off the dribble, more shooting off the dribble. It just felt like, and for his essentially his first year with real time, it was, if somebody closes out on me, I'm going to pump fake and either pass out of this or get a couple steps in, and I don't really know what to do next. So I think that's probably the main thing. And I think his defense is already elite.
Yeah.
It's hard because, you know, he was fouling out, getting 10 fouls in summer league, but I think he'll be fine when the regular season comes around.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. I'll say off the dribble, but just like expanding his game, really. I mean, I kind of just view it like how we viewed Keegan from year 1 to year 2. We saw Keegan be a lead at spot up shooting, and he was incredible at it. But last season was about, okay, Keegan, like you said, put it on the deck. If somebody flies out at you, can you take that pull up? I mean, I'll maybe even expand it just so it's something different. I'd like to see Keon attack the rim a little bit better. It's the same thing I want to see from Keegan as well. But like, you know, yeah, like you said, it is kind of a diet of threes, wide open threes, and then he'll do that little pull up game. I don't know if we've seen much of his floater or anything like that, but you know, Keon's a little bit of a or last season, I guess we haven't seen body transformations yet, but Keon was a bit of a thinner guy last year. I wonder if he does have some trepidation about going down in the trees and kind of finishing above some bigger guys. That might kind of just be his weak spot in general, but that's the part where I think if he can do that, there's no question that he's a starter, that he could be a serious impact player at that point. If he can add multiple layers that can become a 3-level scorer and not just a 3-and-D guy. I think that's maybe what we want to see from Keon. Brendan Nunez in his article on Sactown Sports has ball handling. So I think it definitely fits into everything we're saying. I would say ball handling definitely plays a factor with what you're talking about. Comfort in just kind of putting the ball on the deck. And then, of course, ball handling is really big when it comes to attacking the rim, setting yourself up for success to finish that layup.
Yeah, I really want to just see him. And I know we keep saying playmaking, but we're looking for that backup point guard. That's what we're looking for right now. And somebody has to fill that role. You know, for me, and I got sources on this, Keon, he been in the gym. And he's been in the gym, and he's been working out. And my sources, Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. I was going to say
Keon Ellis. Yeah.
Keon Ellis via Instagram. That man working. Okay. So he's going to be in the trees. We're going to see him. The layup package, the jelly package. It's on the way.
I mean, I kind of was a little bit hinting at it, but you know, I've seen some pictures of Keon on Instagram, and he does look like not only has he been in on the floor in the gym, but it also kind of looks like he's been working out a lot. Looks a little bit more filled out, you know, which is like natural. He's 25 years old. Exactly. Oh, those forearms. Oh my goodness. He might not be. He might have to like relearn how to shoot because he got so much strength in those forearms nowadays. I think Jordan McLaughlin's a bit of a tough one because we haven't seen much of him play, honestly. Brendan in here has prove that the improved three-point ball is real. So Jordan McLaughlin last season, when it came to his three-point shot, knocked down, this is insane, and it looks broken. Jordan McLaughlin last season knocked down 47.3% of his catch-and-shoot threes last year. And yet in 22-23, that same shot attempt was at 29.6 and 32.8 the years previous. So, you know, of course, we've seen guys take massive leaps when it comes to their shot, and Jordan McLaughlin didn't take it on low volume, but definitely, I mean, 47.3% is absolutely insane. That's Steph Curry, Klay Thompson type numbers. So, you definitely have to see if that's real. And Colby Jones, again, we didn't see much from Colby last year from the pro level. But I think we would both agree, because if I'm not mistaken, it's the reason why he got pulled after that Rockets game early in the season when he was getting minutes. Ball handling, are you right there with Brendan on that?
Yeah, I'm right there with Brendan. I mean, he's a guy who we're trying to see, hey, are you going to be able to do this point guard thing, or how's that's going to work? You know, we just talked about if you're just a shooting guard, it's tougher for you out here. So I agree with Brendan.
Yeah, so there you go. You can go read that over on SactownSports.com. I know we spoiled a little bit of it, but you can go read Brendan's reasoning and some of the numbers behind why Brendan says De'Aaron Fox needs to work on his shot selection. Malik Monk, fewer turnovers and consistency. Keon Ellis, work on that ball handling. McLaughlin on that three ball. And Colby Jones, you need to work with Keon when it comes to the ball handling as well. We'll get to the forwards tomorrow, and Frankie, as he was in during the break, let me know that Brendan will be releasing one for the big men tomorrow. So definitely go check out Sactown Sports for that one. And coming up next, we are going to get into a